All right, kids, let's get ready for the next lesson that we're going to have here. So it's been a while since making videos, so hopefully this isn't too rusty for you. So if you look in your textbooks on section 8 and 9, it will not actually be called surface area. It'll actually be called, I believe it's surface area of cylinders and prisms. We're just going to focus on prisms, and actually only one type of prism. We're going to focus on just rectangular prisms in this video. So that's what this is going to be about. In a rectangular prism, if you watched the video 8.8, that is basically a box shape. So whether it's a tissue box or a box that you might open on Christmas or a box that you buy something from the store, comes in, they come, boxes all shapes and sizes. Some are more square shapes, make up the sides, sometimes more rectangles, sometimes you have thin rectangles, fat rectangles, whatever. So all of those things that are what we consider box-shaped, those are rectangular prisms, okay? And so we're going to find the surface area, and so that means all the sides. Now here's something about rectangular prisms. Regardless of the size of it, they all have the same number of sides. They have 6 total sides. So if you're looking at this shape right here, you can see that we have this side right here in the front, okay? We have this side right here and this side right here. Now if we were looking at the box, it'd be like this corner right here is the one that's kind of pointing towards us. So really, we could only see these 3 sides of the box. The other 3 sides, like this one right here, that if you shade this in and stuff like this, that's the bottom side. And these 2 right here and this one back here, that's the back side of the box that we can't see. So if you're looking at this, you need to try to turn your mental eye to see that this is the corner that's pointing towards us. And so when you find these sides, because we're using rectangles here, and opposite sides of a rectangle are equal to each other, this causes the rectangular prisms to have 2 sides that are identical. So there's 6 sides total, but each of those ends up pairing up with the other, just like if you think of making 3 fingers on one hand each. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 pairs total. So this means it's actually a lot easier to find the surface area, because you just need to find the surface area of one of the sides, and then you can times it by 2, and that gets you the other side. So really, we just need to find 3 of the sides, and it's actually very easy. So first, I'm going to show you just by looking at it how to look at it. Then I'm going to show you another way that might be even simpler. So just looking at this, I see that I have this small little rectangle here. And if you notice, this small rectangle in the front pairs up with this small rectangle here in the back, okay? And so if I look here, that is a 4 by 5 rectangle. So I could go ahead and say if I have 4 times 5, okay? So I have 4 times 5, and that's going to be 20, pretty easy. Now that's the area of this, but I also have this back here. So if I wanted to, I could just write down 20 over here, and I'm going to end up adding 20 to that, okay? And I would get 40. So I'm not done yet, though. So 40 is just going to come back to that in just a little bit. So next, I have another rectangle. So if I want to look at the rectangle, like for instance, this side right here, so I know that this length right here is 14 inches, but none of these right here are labeled. But if you take a look, this right here is 4 inches, and this is a rectangle. So that means the opposite side is 4 inches. So this is 4 inches, and that gives me what I need for this rectangle over here. Then I know if this is 4 and this is 14, I can simply say 4 times 14, okay? And so 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 10, 40, so you end up with 56. Now again, kind of like over here, you're going to end up saying 56 plus 56, and you end up getting 112. Now I recommend that you don't try to group all this in your notes. My notes will be a little bit tighter than yours. You spread your notes out so this is neater than what I have right here. I made a mistake and put some of my stuff too close together. So, but spread yours out a little bit more so that yours isn't so grouped up. Next, the next side we've done the side here, and we've done this back side here, and we've done the front and this back here. So we haven't done the top and the bottom of this box yet. So the top is, so if this is 14 right here, then this line right here is 14 because they're opposite sides of the rectangle. So it's 14, and over here would be 14. So, but I need this side right here to get the rectangle. So if this is 5, this would be 5 here. So I have 5 by 14. So I can say 5 times 14. That would give me 7. That would give me 70. Okay, and then of course if I add 70 to 70, I end up with 140. Okay, so you're going to say, I'm going to just do it right over here. So you're going to have 40, 112, and 140. You add all this together, and you're going to end up with 292. So you end up with 292. We would put inches squared because we are finding the area. So we're still finding area. So this would still be inches squared, and that would be our final answer. So circle that so that you can find out what your answer is. And again, give yourself more room so your work can be a little bit neater than mine. Mine got a little crowded because I put the second shape right there. Didn't have much room to move down on myself there. So again, when you're getting these shapes, I should have said in the first one, but I'll say it here. Pause the video to draw this as accurately as possible. To draw it accurately, you just make a rectangle like so in the front, and then you draw a line back. Draw a line back and connect them, and that should be flat like this, and do the same here and the dashed line here. And if you want to make these lines solid, you can, and you just go back over with your pencil and erase them. So you should end up with 3 lines, only 3 lines that are dashed, okay? And that when you're drawing, at least when you're drawing a rectangular prism the way I'm drawing it. Okay, so something else that you can do that might be a little easier for you is to look at, typically they're going to give you the 3 side lengths that you need, okay? Typically what they're going to do. So if you look at it, you can double check that, and that's what they're doing. This one kind of spreads them out a little bit. So, but if you're solving a rectangular prism, there's always 4 sides that are always the same. So what I mean by that is there are 4 lines here that are going to equal 17, and it's this long one here, long one here, long one here, and long one here. So that is 17. This one right here equals 3. So all the lines that are going up and down, like this one, and this one, and this one, all of those also equal 3. And all the ones that are going off to the side, like that are kind of lined up with the blue lines here, 1, 2, 3, and this dashed line here, 4, all of those would equal 7. So if you want to look at it like that, you can. Another thing that you can do that might make this easier is, I would say, just put a pair of parentheses and say, put a 2 on the outside like this, okay? And what you do on the inside is you take one of your pairs and you say, well, that'd be 7 times 3, and then put another 2, and then find another pair. You could say 7 and 17. So 7 times 17, and then you could put 2, and you could put, then you would have 3 times 17. So that's all the pairs you have. They give you 3 numbers. You have 3 different pairs that you can set up. This actually will get you the all the areas of all the sides that you need, and then you can add all that together. So this is actually one way of doing this. Now again, this little formula only works when you're solving rectangular prisms. But it's helpful to know it because rectangular prisms show up so much, especially in math problems, but also in real life, that it's actually just useful to know that, okay, if I just do 2 times this pair, 2 times this pair, 2 times this pair, add it together, it all works out. So this one right here, 7 times 3, this would be the area of this first rectangle right here and the back one right here. That's why we're timesing it by 2, because that will get us the area of both of those if we times it by 2. So you can do it's inside the parentheses first, and you would get 21. 3 times 7, 21, times that by 2, so you end up with 42. Okay? Here you would have 7 times 17, so 7 times 7 is 49, 7 times 10 is 70, 49 plus 70, that would be 119. Now we're going to times that by 2, so you end up with 200 and should be 38. If I'm wrong on this, you guys can tell me in class. 3 times 17, so 3 times 7, 21. 3 times 10 is 30. Add those together, you get 51. And we times that by 2, and we end up with 102, okay? So now all we do is just add these all together, and we get our answer. So if you want to kind of like put like a little plus thing here, and now we're going to add all these together. And so, of course, you know, you add this together, you get a 2 here, carry your 1. You have 8 here, and then 3 here. So you end up with 382. Now, that's not the final answer. We need to write that down over here, and then we need to add the units to it and square it, because again, this is area. So, good there. So again, look back over this if you need some help. This last example is example 3. We will go over this in class, but here's my challenge to you. I want to see if you can find the surface area of this shape. So your challenge is to draw this shape as accurate as possible, label it with 12 meters, 10 meters, and 11 meters, and go ahead and try it out. See if you guys can get the answer now. I wish you the best of luck.